Lydia woke to the hum of fluorescent lights, though she couldn't find their source. The room she was in was neither large nor small, neither bright nor dim. Its walls curved gently, rendering it both circular and angular at once. She couldn't tell if she was sitting or standing. Her body obeyed gravity, yet her feet weren't on the floor. In the center of the room was a table. Or at least it was table-like. It had no legs, no edges, just a flat surface that floated midair, reflecting the ceiling, or was it the floor? On the surface rested an object that could only be described as potential. It looked like a cube but shimmered into a sphere when you blinked, sometimes spiraling into a fractal that disappeared entirely if you tried to focus on it. A voice spoke, though there was no one else in the room. It was neither male nor female, young nor old. "Name it." "Name what?" Lydia asked. "The answer," replied the voice. She glanced back at the object, now spinning lazily as though amused by her confusion. "What does it answer? It doesn't matter until it's named," the voice said, as though that explained everything. Lydia tried to think of a word, but every time she opened her mouth, the syllables rearranged themselves before leaving her lips. FLM. No. Plefaceld. The sounds spiraled out of her control, reshaping themselves into musical notes that floated away, shimmering before vanishing into the walls or lack thereof. Suddenly, the walls became mirrors. Lydia's reflection looked at her, but her face was different. Her eyes were missing, replaced with tiny mouths. She screamed, but her reflection didn't. Instead, the reflection spoke, "Don't trust it. The moment you name it, you're trapped here forever." The voice returned, louder this time and layered, like a chorus speaking in unison. "Lydia, your reflection lies. Only the named can leave." Lydia stared at her reflection. It smiled, mouths curving grotesquely. "Trust me," it whispered. Her hand extended toward the object. It felt heavy, light, and electric all at once as she touched it. Her mind flooded with images, spiraling galaxies, endless fields of flowers that grew backward into seeds, and the memory of a life she hadn't lived. Names flowed into her mind, none of which made sense. Fermeda? Blythe? Wexlorth? She chose the simplest one. "Sphere," she said aloud. The room shifted. The mirrors melted into shadows, and the voice laughed, a sound so layered it became texture. Lydia's reflection nodded, its mouths forming 1,000 grins before vanishing altogether. The walls stretched outward into a horizon of endless light. Lydia tried to walk, but realized her legs weren't legs anymore. She wasn't Lydia anymore. She was the object, or had the object been her all along? Somewhere far away, in another room with no corners, another voice asked, "Name it."